Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé. Let's watch.
Smells new.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is new.
I think it's all brand new.
Not much of a view.
Where's the view? The living room and the kitchen's all the same, isn't it? That's it.
This is a bedroom? I'm not sure you can fit a whole bed and dresser in here, could you?
So, why would you say these sorts of things? Your kid is in his late 20s. He got married. He's moving out. He's excited. And you come in, and the first thing you say is, well, after you say it looks new, is terrible view, and this is small. What I'm really happy to see is that they are choosing an affordable apartment. It's a nice place. It does look brand new, but it's on the small side, which of course is what you tend to live in when you first move out of the house. I lived in some extremely small places when I was in my 20s. And you just make do because it's all you can afford. And that's what they're doing, which is great. A lot of the people on this show, they only look at expensive places that are out of their league instead of being rational about it. So this is good. This is a good sign for the two of them. So what am I looking for? What I'm looking for in the parents, well, given, the best case scenario, the parents would be like, great, good for you. You're going to do great. Even though in the back of their mind, they were like, I wonder if they're going to come crawling back once they figure out this isn't going to work well. I don't know. But I believe in my son. He's a good kid. He's smart. Things will work out probably. And you say, good for you. This is great. That would be best case scenario. Of course, we're not going to see that because the parents don't have that point of view. Given the parents' point of view, what would be optimal? What would be optimal for the dad would be say something like, well, son, I'll tell you, I'm really, I love you a lot and I worry about you a lot. And I'm worried that because you've never lived on your own before and because this place might be on the expensive side given your budget, that things are not going to go well for you. And I'm worried about that a little bit. But that's my worry. That's not your worry. That's differentiation. That's my worry. That's not your worry. The other part of it is I have always wanted you to be a part of the farm. And I'm realizing that more and more as you're moving out, that I think in my head I had this fantasy that you would always want to stay on the farm because I love the farm and I love you and I want you to stay on the farm and I love Julia and I want the two of you to stay. Not only to be with us because I love your company, but I also would just love it if you followed in my footsteps on the farm. I don't want random people working on the farm. I want us to do it together. It's a big thing to me. But that's my feeling, not your feeling. Again, differentiation. And that's how I feel about it. That would be optimal for the dad. Let's see what he says.
It's a little small compared to 10 acres. This would make me so claustrophobic just staring at a wall. No fire escape. You're on the 6th floor. One window opens.
We signed a lease, so.
You did?
We signed a lease, so. Our
For
goal
this one?
Yeah.
Wow, we've finally arrived. I mean, who knows if they actually move in, but it's been a long time coming, right? A lot of episodes you and I have waited through and waited for this to happen. So good for them. I'm pretty sure from the very first episode, I was getting comments below saying, move out of that farm, move away from those people. So they finally arrived. I mean, so I want to say, commend Brandon and Julia for working together and budgeting wisely, the two of them. So this is good. And this could literally end all of their problems, or at least most of their problems. So it's not going to end the problems between Brandon and Julia themselves, but I don't know, they seem to be handling it okay. So let's see what the parents say.
When are you thinking about
Like
moving
the
in?
end of this month or next
Couple
month?
weeks.
Is that what you're thinking?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Brandon could do something well here, and maybe even Julia as well, of saying, parents, I know you're uncomfortable with me moving out, and that's fine. And I just want to thank you a lot for all the help you gave us. I know it's a sign of love that you care. And I think we can all agree that it's normal for someone in their late 20s to, once they get married, possibly move out. And I know this can be hard for the two of you, but I just want to say I love you and I care about your care for me. And I just want you to know that. So Brandon could say that. Julia could say something similar to that. Brandon doesn't usually say that, though. I think because Brandon, total speculation, this is a pretty wild speculation, really, that he harbors a lot of resentment against the parents for the way that they treated him. And his way of getting back at them is moments like this where he will be very robotic, almost kind of jabbing them, knowing that it'll jab them. It shouldn't jab the parents, but he knows it'll jab the parents, and he does it in this very cold manner. Sometimes Julia will even step in and say like, hey, well, maybe we should say something nice. Let's see what happens.
You know, we've rented apartments, we own houses. It'd be nice if they would get us involved. The fact that he did not tell us prior just once again tells me that he's being manipulated by Julia on this one.
There it is. So I forget about that one, that it's all Julia's fault. Now, I've been saying from the time that I developed the conceptualization that Brandon might be a candidate for an assessment of dependent personality spectrum. I don't know. There's a possibility that although manipulation is one word for it, another word is that Brandon is transferring his dependency, his over-dependency on his parents and onto Julia. And Brandon doesn't really know what he wants and doesn't really know what he needs because of the way that he was raised. So it's a possibly accurate conceptualization that Julia is a dominant factor in the way that Brandon makes decisions. But is it manipulation? It doesn't seem that way to us. It could be. It doesn't seem that way. But what's the alternative, Dad? Is the alternative that he succumbed to your manipulation? Because it certainly doesn't seem like Brandon is enthusiastic about staying at home, right? At the very least, he's not fighting with Julia about staying at home anymore anyway.
Because trying to keep her happy. And this is a result.
I always say I want to gain a daughter, not lose a son. Whether or not I do lose him, I guess, the proof's in the pudding.
Okay, so that's interesting. That was actually healthy behavior in the mom. We just heard differentiation from the mom. She's saying proof's in the pudding. I think what's happening for her, she's having this worry of, I was worried I was going to lose a son instead of gaining a daughter. And now that they're moving out and having that worry again. But maybe it won't happen that way. That's what it feels like. They're moving out. I feel like I'm losing my son, but maybe it won't happen that way just because he moves out. So that's differentiation. She's able to look at that and say, it feels like I'm losing a son, but maybe not. Let's wait and see. Proof's in the pudding. But this brings up another thing here and he missed the spot shaving, which is kind of bugging me. I just want to shave that off. Anyway, I think that, and I've speculated this before, that for the parents, I think, particularly the mom, but maybe the dad, worries that because of the way they've parented, they sort of created a problem. Because of their overprotection, they've created, it's possible that the mom understands that the closeness that she has with her son is somewhat predicated on a false notion that he is still a child. And that if he ever does break free, he'll run and run and run and never come back because of the cage that she has created for him emotionally and physically. I mean, physically meaning, on the farm, kind of pressuring him to stay. And she could have a rational fear that if she ever does release control, that he'll never come back because of the overprotection and the problems that maybe even her husband presented at parenting-wise. So I wonder if the mom was worried about that.
To help them on the farm, and that sucks because that's going to put all the work on their shoulders. But I know Julia can't wait to get away from the farm, my parents. She's so excited. Once again, I kind of felt stuck in the middle, that I was forced between, choosing to help my parents out or, making Julia happy.
Right. So this points to the possibility that for Brandon, he possibly would have stayed on the farm. Because if Julia would have been okay with it, or even just slightly okay with it, instead of giving the ultimatums that she did give, that he'd still be on the farm because that's the easiest path for him. And there's a possibility, given the way he was raised, that he actually doesn't know what he wants at all, that he is constantly in a state of trying to please other people and just just wants conflict to go down. And no one has ever stopped to allow him to build the muscles necessary, the mental muscles necessary to know, what do I want to do? So he seems to be exhibiting that right now. All right, well, that does it for that episode. If you didn't know, we have a website that you can visit, psychologyinseattle.com. We have a lot of goodies there, and you can listen to audio episodes. They're all categorized there. And we have a whole list of our over 1,000 episodes. There's a page with all, you can search for different categories of episodes. Plus, we have an audio podcast. If you didn't know, you can subscribe. You can have an audio podcast app on your phone. Subscribe to Psychology in Seattle. A lot of you do that, but if you didn't know about that, some people don't know about podcasts. And we put out 5 episodes a week, 5 audio podcasts where you can listen while you're doing laundry or jogging or in the car or something. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.